Okay, shit. There is no one in the passenger seat. Shut the fuck up. Give y'all a minute to slide on through in here before I get going. James Millage was good. What's good, folkers? What's good? What's good? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. It's Tyrus Bane. Welcome to the Definition of Anarchy, where today, on Saturday, what is it? September 19th, I think it is, 2021. I just had a question. You know, in multiple parts of the country, have police officers, right? And I'm talking about civil servants right now. Police officers and, firefighters and whatnot. They are striking and they're walking off the job because of the hokey pokey mandates. And that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's good to see. But why now? Why now? Why now when it affects you? When it affects the civil servant, that's when you want to buck and say, you know what? We ain't doing this. Now there are some places where sheriffs and whatnot said they would not enforce mask mandates and hokey pokey mandates, and that's all well and good. But the kudos to them for jumping on it right away. But even with them, even with those people, even with those civil servants that have decided that they would not enforce hokey pokey mandates in regards to the Modelo 19, where have y'all been for the last few decades? Where have y'all been since the 1900s? Where have y'all been the whole time? Because this is not the first time the government has overstepped. All right, the government has been overstepping for a very long time, and law enforcers and whatnot, law enforcers, judges, whoever it is, y'all have saw fit to enforce any rights infringing edict that came across your desk. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have been enforcing unconstitutional rights violating laws ever since you swore in. But now you're just now getting that, hey, these people have rights and we should not be infringing on those rights. Where was that energy? Where's that energy for all the other unconstitutional laws that you guys enforce? Where's that energy for all the other contrary bullshit edicts that come down from the kingly governors and the kingly mayors and all this other shit, or the Congress and the Senate? I don't give a hot damn what y'all talking about. Oh, well, you guys voted for the politician that created the law. I didn't. Many people have not. But because so many people decide to go cast a suggestion in the slave suggestion box, I have to be subject to the bullshit. So when you say people, especially people like Brandon Tatum and ABL and the idiot Lucas and all these other people that tell you, oh well, we voted for these people to take office and create laws, so we gotta obey it. That's dumb, because Those of us who didn't vote for individuals to do that, so that by that logic, I should not be subject to these laws. I should not be subject to getting fined. I should not be subject to being taxed, right? I should be able to opt out, right? Because I don't participate in the voting process. I just happen to be born in the United States and been given a Social Security card and a birth certificate. I did not have the option to remove myself from the system. But you people did. So that means that you go ahead and follow these laws. But see, that's not how they think. Misery loves company. They want you to be just as submissive. They want you to be just as enslaved as they are. So miss me with that when it comes to these tyrants creating these laws that law enforcers choose to enforce. You enforce all kind of unconstitutional laws. But now you want to walk out. Now you want to walk out. Or when we have a problem with police brutality, you guys get all butthurt and get in your feelings, and you don't want to show up. You want to have the blue flu. You want to do this, you want to do that. You want to prove that the crime rate is going to go up without police officers being around to handle the business, right? It's funny how you guys pick and choose when you want to protect and serve the people. Oh, but that's right. That's right. The Supreme Court said that you don't have to protect and serve the people. Then what are you doing for the people? What are you doing for the people? Law enforcement. What are law enforcement doing for the people? If they don't have to protect and serve the people, and they haven't been, what are you doing for us? And if you're not doing shit for the people, why should we obey your orders? Why should we even give you any? You're not entitled to any type of compliance, because you're not here to serve us. Even though we pay your paychecks, you're not here to serve us. So why? You go around and you might, okay, let's solve a crime and let's arrest people for committing a crime, but that's not serving the people. What you're doing is you're cleaning up a mess. And you're going to find out who did this. You're going to place them under arrest, and you're going to throw them in the prison industrial complex to churn out more money for the machine. But at the end of the day, because you do that, that doesn't give you the right to oversee the people. Your job should be limited to coming through when the crime is over, doing an investigation, and going ahead and arresting the person that committed the crime, an actual crime where you leave a victim. But other than that, you want to pull me over because you thought I was going too fast, or I rolled through a stop sign? No, you don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to harass and accost someone because they violated some infraction, but they didn't cause any harm to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because even with the laws, right, drunk drivers are still going to drink and drive, right? People who speed are still going to speed, regardless of a posted sign. You know what I'm saying? Drunk drivers still going to drink and drive, and it's up to the community to ensure that that drunk driver doesn't hurt someone. Because even if a police officer, you see a drunk driver, they're swerving in and out of traffic, you still have to pull them over, right? Well, if they're super drunk, the odds are they're not going to be so quick to just pull over like you want them to. You might have to give chase. You might have to do this. You might have to do that. right? They're drunk. They're not in their right mind. But I'm going on a tangent. The problem is you can't pick and choose which unconstitutional rights infringing edicts you want to sit out on. You don't get no form of applause. You don't get no pats on the back from me. It ain't happening. Now, if you decided to say, hey, I'm not going to enforce any rights infringing laws. I'm not going to enforce any contrary, edicts. I'm going to serve the people. I'm going to stand up and serve the people. That's what I'm going to do. If a sheriff said that, if the sheriff said, you know what, we looked at all these laws on the books, 99.9% of them are completely unnecessary, and we're not going to enforce them. We're not going to enforce them. But what we're going to do is we're going to serve the community. We're going to contact members of our community and see how we can best serve them. Because guess what? They pay our salaries. They pay our salaries. So at the end of the day, our community members, they are bosses. We have to answer to them. We no longer answer to the mayor. We no longer answer to this politician or that politician. We answer to the people. So from now on, we're going to remove ourselves from this political bullshit, this political arena. We're going to let y'all have that. Good luck enforcing your laws without the police doing it for you. See how that works. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the people and we're going to say, we're going to protect you. We're going to serve you by any means necessary. And we're no longer going to call ourselves police. We're going to call ourselves community watchmen or community security or something like that. Yeah. I would give you some props if you did that. You have to go all in. Because anybody can point out your hypocrisy. Anybody can point out your hypocrisy. Oh, you don't, all of a sudden you don't enforce the face flag mandate. You don't want to enforce the hokey pokey mandate, but you enforce all these other laws. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. Like, what? Why all of a sudden? And this is the problem I have with people like Brandon Tatum, because Brandon Tatum, he is going to ride for the police no matter what. But more and more, he's been hollering his freedom shit, right? He been on more. Ever since he blocked me. Because you know he blocked me. He blocked me. He's starting to sound a little bit more and more like your boy. But he still is going to back the police no matter what. It doesn't make sense. You can't be about freedom and still back the police 100%, no matter what they do. Right? So yes, while it's, look, it's a statement, right? It's a statement. It sends a message. We're not going to force people, and we're not going to be forced to have a medical procedure that we don't want to have. Okay. That's all well and good. That's all well and good. You know, you got doctors, doctors walking out, you got nurses walking out, teachers, firefighters, all those people. That's all well and good. Right? But this is the thing though. Especially with the teachers, because they tell the teachers and the hospital workers, right? Oh, well, what about all these other hokey pokey mandates that are on the books? The Modelo 19 hokey pokey is not the first hokey pokey that has been mandated. So what about all these other hokey pokeys? Like you guys didn't have a problem with that before. And so that's when you have to say, well, guess what? From now on, we do. We will not comply with any mandate. That's how you have to carry it. If you can't, ain't no half stepping. Ain't no half stepping when it comes to freedom. So if you say, look, I don't want to get the hokey pokey for the Modelo 19, you have to be able to say, I don't want to get the hokey. People shouldn't be forced to get the hokey pokey for the flu, for measles, none of that. unless you want to. If you want that, then cool. But you should still say, you should be able to say, no, it should not be mandated. I recommend these hokey pokeys because they've been tested, they've been around for a long time, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to want anybody else to be forced to take them. That's how you have to carry this whole shit. Ain't no half-stepping. So that's what you're seeing these civil servants do. They half-stepping. Oh, I'm not going to enforce that law. Well, what about all these other laws? There are thousands, tens of thousands of laws on the books that should not be enforced. I don't care if it went through the Senate and the Congress. I don't give a hot fuck. I don't care what gaggle of idiots. I don't care what group of baboons, which is what a Congress is, says what laws I don't care. I did not appoint these idiots. I did not vote for them to do that. And I particularly did not give them the power to rule over other people. And that's what you don't have. You voters out there that go out and vote, you don't have the power. You don't have the power over me in the first place to give it to somebody else. Because that's what you're doing. You don't have that right. You don't have that power in the first place. So your ruler is not legitimate to me. Your ruler is not legitimately my ruler. He's legitimately your ruler because guess what? You voted for him. And even if you voted for somebody and your candidate lost, you still have consented to be ruled over by the person that you don't like. Because why? Because you voluntarily threw your hat in the ring. You said, I'm going to submit to whoever wins this this race. I'm going to submit to whoever wins this presidential election, this mayoral election, this gubernatorial election. When you voted, when you threw your shit, when you went up there, wasted your time on a Tuesday, you said, I'm going to vote for the ruler. It doesn't matter who becomes the ruler. You have submitted, but you don't have the power to make me submit. You don't have the power. You can't give power over me to somebody else. No, you can't do that. That's the problem with this representative democracy or whatever you want to call it. This constitutional republic. No, I didn't ask for this person to represent me. I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for these cops to represent me. I did not voluntarily give my money to these police officers and these firefighters to do anything. But guess what? Every time I make a paycheck, they take money out of my goddamn check for it. And even with that, even though I'm paying for these motherfuckers to do a job, they're still not doing it the way they should be doing it. They're still not doing it the way they should be doing it. If I pay for something, I'm paying for a service, right? I'm paying for a service. That's how it should be. How it should work with police officers, firefighters. You're paying for a service. You're paying, like when you pay a health insurance, you're paying for a service. So you should demand the utmost service. You know what I'm saying? They should be happy to serve you. They should earn that money. But that's not what's happening. What they're doing with your money is they're harassing people, they're killing people, they're caging people, they're kidnapping people. They're forcing people to do shit against their will or without their consent. You know what I mean? They're seizing their property. They're entering their homes with a piece of paper signed by some judge that don't fucking know you. That's what they're doing. They're not serving you, but you're paying them money. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's my money. If I don't, you know what I'm saying? I should be able to take my tax money and put it to wherever I want to put it to. You know how much money people can save? I'm telling you guys, man. It's all a scheme. It's all a scam. It's all to enrich them. And we just sit back. Most of us, we just sit back. Hey, you know, it is what it is. These are the laws. The law is the law. The law is the law. Fuck out of here. You know, it's like You half-stepping freedom lovers, man. You cannot be half-stepping with the freedom. You can't. You got to go all in. You know, it's like sometimes Tim Pool will say, "Oh, we have a Second Amendment. You have, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. If you don't like it, change the amendment." What? You were doing so good until you said that dumb shit. Change the amendment? If you don't like the Second Amendment, change it. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. Even if they went in and changed the Second Amendment or the First Amendment or the Third Amendment, whatever amendment that they want to change, even if they change it, it's still illegitimate. Because these rights aren't given to us by the Constitution. I just don't understand how somebody who is supposed to be so smart and all this other shit don't understand that. And Brandon Tatum, you don't like that our rights are being infringed upon, but you were a police officer for 6 years, infringing on other people's rights, and you back police officers that infringe on all type of rights. Now you're starting to have a problem. Well, if you have a problem, you got to go all the way with it. You have to have a problem with police officers right now if you really want to be about that freedom movement. Then you will condemn any police officer that violates people's rights, no matter what the law is. You see, if you put the law before the rights of the people, you're a statist. Because the laws are created by the state. These edicts are created by the state. So if you put the law above the people's rights, the law that comes from the state, you're a statist. You can't be freedom minded and be a statist at the same time. At some point, you're gonna have to swallow that pill and take that leap. And I'm not talking about the red pill. The red pill is still cloudy. It's still, it still has impurities. The impurity of, this pro-police, this conservative pro-police, jackbooted bullshit. And that's the problem with the message of the Brexit situation. They had all the right things to say until they said law and order. When it became about being about law and order, when you're for law and order, right? The law and order that they're talking about, not natural law, right? Not, laws of nature, right? Not like the law of physics or the law of, Newton's law, not real laws that can't be changed or manipulated. They're talking about laws created by man that you have to follow no matter what. Law and order. When you're talking about that, you kill the whole message. You should throw everything out the window. Community, self-sufficiency. You can't have self-sufficiency and law and order. Not the law and order they're talking about once again. There's nothing wrong with order, right? Laws exist as they do. You can't change them, right? If I jump in the air, I had to fall. I had to come back down. That's the law of gravity. That can't be changed. That can't be manipulated. You can't argue against that. That's scientific fact. But laws against, you can't collect rainwater, or you can't do this, you can't drive that. Like these type of things right here. When you talk about law and order, the way you guys talk about it in your Brexit movement, in your right wing and all this red pill bullshit, when you take the red pill, you're still a statist. You're just a red statist now. First you were a blue statist. You took the red pill, now you're a red statist because some politician, Trump, came about and he spoke your language. But he still said, I like take the guns first, due process second. Bump stock bans. Civil asset. He is for civil asset forfeiture. Civil asset forfeiture, where they can take your shit, even if they claim to suspect you you of having that shit tied to a crime. Oh well, why you got $30,000 in your truck? Why you got $25,000? Well, what you doing with this gold bar? It's none of your fucking business. Well, I think you're using it. I think you did it by getting drugs. We're gonna take that now. It's bullshit. That's civil. That's how easy. That's how easily they can take your shit with civil asset forfeiture. Right? The eminent domain bullshit. Oh, you own this property, but guess what? We declare a state of emergency, or we the government feel like we need to seize your property for whatever reason. We'll compensate you. We'll give you some money. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Your boy Trump was for that. So you took that red pill. You took that red pill, but it's still impure. It's still stained, right? Instead of a blue stain, it's a red stain. No, I decided to take the clear pill. I took the clear pill, the pill of clarity, the true pill of freedom. That's what they should have called it in the Matrix, right? That's what they should have called it in the Matrix. You want to get out the Matrix, you take the clear pill. But I guess you had to take the red pill so that you can have the ability to go back into the Matrix whenever you needed to. Makes sense. But in regards to this situation, that red pill is still carcinogenic. The clear pill is what you need. If you're talking about freedom at all, if you're talking about rights being infringed, listen, I'm not gonna say you can't talk about freedom if you still have the status mind frame. But what I will say is that it's not legitimate. Your views of freedom are flawed, because you still feel like somebody or other people or that police officers have the right to enforce certain laws you're okay with. Oh, well, that law is okay. Go ahead and enforce that one, even though it's still an infringement. Excuse me. Even though it's still an infringement, go ahead and enforce that one. We're okay with that one. We won't bust your balls about that one. But when it comes to the face flags and hokey pokey mandates, we don't like that one. We're gonna give you a hard time about that. It doesn't make sense. You got to go all in. Let me see. Oh, hey, dudes, Jay with open eyes. James Millage was good. Was good. Let's see. Injustice clip. And this is executives. Their arms. So I mean, anything that has to do. Look, this is what you need court for, right? And you don't need 80,000 courts. You need one court for your particular community, if you want to call it that. Somebody murders somebody. Somebody steals from somebody. Somebody assaults someone unprovoked. Someone raped someone, molested a child. That's when you need to have this, right? Because you need to present evidence. You need to prove that someone did something. I can agree. You need investigators. You still need investigators. You still need jails. You still need prisons. You still need all that, right? You still need a court system. But the way that it's set up and what they see people for, the only things you need the court for is did you hurt somebody? Did you steal from somebody? Did you murder somebody? Did you rape someone? Did you, damage someone's property? Did you destroy some form of nature? Did you go out and are you being destructive? Like if you're harming something or someone, that's when you need court. You know what I mean? Oh, he drove 5 miles over the speed limit. Oh, he rolled through a stop. Like all that bullshit. Fuck out of here with that, man. You're wasting people's money. It's a waste of taxpayer dollars. You understand that? So this court shit, the way it's set up, we definitely need to completely scale back government involvement. Hold on. We need to scale back on anything government. It needs to be scaled back to the bare bones, right down to the people. We govern ourselves. That's how it's supposed to work. And if you're involved in a community and the people within that community, they decide to go with some system that everybody agrees with, boom, you go with that system in that community. But you don't need to scale it up. And that's the problem with people talking about, well, how do you scale up anarchy? How do you scale up volunteerism? You don't need to scale it up. You don't need to scale it. You don't have to involve the entire fucking country. No, you just bare bones communities down to your the smallest communities you can have. Whatever you want to do, as long as everyone is voluntarily participating in the situation. Yeah, those are my children. They're swarming my truck. Hold on, guys. I had to lock the door. Jimmy, we talking about, hey, Bane. Jimmy Nguyen says, hey, Bane, last night? I went to the hospital. I asked 2 different doctors. The dude told me not to get booster shot because it's not FDA approved. While any lady doctor told me yes because your immune system is going down. At this point, Jimmy, you got to make the right decision for yourself, man. You got my mother and stepdad just got a booster, so they just got the 3rd shot yesterday. So, I mean, they just got the booster. They're not. I mean, it comes down to personal choice. You got to make the right decision for yourself. I come to realize, Jimmy, Jay with Open Eyes says, conservatives or leftists, anybody still believing in political BS must have some form of mental illness. Conservatives talking about obey the law with 1776. It doesn't make sense. That was the whole point behind 1776, is to disobey the laws of the king from England. Yeah, it's bullshit. Janie Miller said, Jimmy Nguyen, I will say this about Lucas, though. 1776 wouldn't exist if today's society was living in that era. LOL, too many bootlickers. Oh, absolutely. I'll venture to say that it's the same number, not the same number, same percentage of bootlickers to non-bootlickers exist now as they did in 1776. Only a third of the people, only a third of the people resisted England. Only a third. So I would say it's about the same now. It's just a matter of how strong. It just depends on how we rise up and how strongly we approach these people in regards to our freedoms. And that's all it took. It only took a third of the population, and I say we about to have about a third now. It's just how we approach the situation. Now it's just a different dynamic. Nicolette Moore says, your BF has had 4 shots. 4 shots? What? Oh, it's not FDA approved, but they'll tell you all up and down. Oh, it's fully approved. It's fully approved. Whatever. It just, their definition of fully isn't the same as ours, apparently. Chanel Cloud says, Mike Ruffin, can't I want you to come to this show and explain to him how a sovereign state works? Who's Mike Ruffin? Jimmy News says, not only that, Booster, yes, it was only approved for older people. Yeah, the FDA panel came together and voted that they didn't want to approve the booster. So definitely not. Chanel Cloud says, it sounds like you're caught in the hailstorm. Yeah. That's crazy, Nicolette. David Open Eyes 4 says, I think the reason nowadays why there's so many people not willing to do shit is because there's so many things that weren't around back then to pacify the masses. Absolutely. Good point. Nicolette Moore says it's because they don't keep track of who is being. So why would someone want to get 4 shots? Deceiver number 1 says, when you fight Mighty Mouse, I'm not giving a child molester a head up fade. Deceiver number 1. Does that answer your question? What's up, Derek C. Williams? He just posted a link. You guys go check that out. Derek, can you text me that link? If you text me the link, I won't have to go away from the live to look at it. Jimmy Nguyen says, this is why the government pissed me off. We can develop so-called hokey pokey. Why not develop a cure for? Because they don't want to cure cancer. Cancer is a money-making machine, man. Jimmy Nguyen says, hey, Bang, have you looked up who paid the biggest criminal yet? Mike Nificent, I need you to come on his show and explain to him how sovereign state works. Does he claim he knows what a sovereign state is? Lawrence Rittenell was good. He's high risk. How about, see, look, I like what is that doctor's name? I keep forgetting his name. Sean Baker, MD. If you're part of the high risk group, do your best to get out of the high risk group. That's how you do that. If you can, get out of the high risk group. If you're obese, lose weight, eat healthy, right? If you have diabetes, try to reverse the diabetes. If you have heart disease, figure out why you have heart disease and try to reverse that. If you do cardio and things like that, you can reduce your heart disease thingy. There are ways, try to get out of that high risk group. Now, if you're older, you're older. You know, it is what it is. But there are a lot of older gentlemen and ladies that very healthy, very fit, that can still do muscle ups and things like that. I mean, you can do it. Yeah, I check out Mike Nificent. Does he allow people to come on the show, or is he one of those that all right, guys, let's get out of here. My kids just picked up a break. They're about to bust out the windows, so I'll holler at y'all later. I'll probably get back on here on Monday. All right, guys, much love. Peace out, and yeah, you guys keep marching forward toward freedom. And don't let these people, don't let these statists fool you into thinking that they're freedom lovers. They're not. They're not. If they believe in government of any kind, that is involuntary. If they believe in involuntary government, they're not freedom lovers. Point blank in the period. All right, peace out.